Hey guys, Ellie here. Today, I hate making these kind of videos. These videos are just the worst thing that you can do on the farm. They really are. For yourself, for us, for you guys. We just feel like we're letting y'all down. We just feel let down ourselves. Just heartbroken. I hate these kind of videos. And the videos I'm talking about are videos where we have to announce the passing of one of our animals. I'm so sorry. I know you guys love the animals the same way that we do, and so y'all hurt the same way that we do when we lose one. And so I just want to start off with, I'm so sorry. I hope y'all can have grace and mercy with us. I hope y'all know that we're doing the absolute best that we can with all the babies. Here's my sweet hero right here. But I'm in the littles pasture right now because our hearts are hurting. We lost one of our littles 2 nights ago. Hi, Lovey. This is my beautiful wife right here. For those of you that don't know, we lost our sweet little sheep, Angel, on Monday evening. It's just inexplicable. We're just dumbfounded. It breaks our hearts. We took him on Tuesday morning, took his body to A&M to get a autopsy done. He had like no clinical signs or symptoms. With the recent cold, we've been coming outside every night to check on the animals. Y'all know how we do. We check on them all day, throughout the day, check their eyelids, the FOMACHA score to make sure that they're not developing anemia, because we've lost a few to parasites in the past. And the best way you can tell if an animal is being overcome by parasites usually is through their blood levels. They start sucking the blood and they become anemic. And so all of our animals have had good color eyelids, good blood levels. They haven't had diarrhea. They've been acting pretty active and healthy. And just during the cold, we make sure there wasn't anybody coughing, developing pneumonia or anything like that. They have a barn, a shelter to get out of the rain, get out of the cold. So, you know, you can look behind me and just look at our pastures. They're green, they're colorful, they're beautiful. We don't have trash and just piles and piles of poop everywhere. And so it's just, you know, we're doing the best we can. We just figured we have all of our bases covered. And when we went to get the autopsy done, we're just thinking, like, what possibly could it have been? Could he have, like, I don't know, gotten kicked by a donkey or something like that? Could he got hit in the head? Could he have, you know, choked on something, just maybe swallowed his own cud with his crooked jaw, because Angel was born with a crooked jaw? Could he have had an underlying issue? You just don't know what it could be. And so the last thing we ever thought it would be is parasites again, because for those of you that don't know, we struggled with parasites on our property right here. We live, that hurts. Years. Ow, that hurts.
Hey, Ursula.
This goat is biting my hair really hard.
She's so bad about that. Ursula,
yeah. We live on a floodplain. It's flooded here several times in the past few years. And so for the 2 years that my wife and I have lived here, this property belonged to my dad before us. And he struggled with parasites a little bit, but we've struggled with it really, really bad ever since we moved here. And it has flooded quite a few times since we moved here as well. And so I know that when there's like citywide flooding, it can bring in contaminants from all over the place. I bet if we were to test our ground, I bet it would have quite a bit of parasites. But anyways, I'm kind of rambling here. We got our autopsy results back for Angel, and he was overcome by barber pole worms. He died of parasites, and that is the last thing on earth I ever would have thought it would have been for him, because with our parasite struggles, we've made sure they've had clean water every day. We've checked the eyelids like crazy to make sure that they have good blood levels, are not anemic. We've started feeding our grains in feed troughs above the ground so they're not eating near the soil where the parasites live. And so we thought for sure we would have possibly covered all of our bases, and somehow, some way, he still passed of parasites, and he didn't even show any signs. We check him every single day. No lethargy, no diarrhea. Even with his dead body, we made sure there was no blood in his poop, nothing. It's just, we're just at a loss. We're just heartbroken. We're just devastated. And the main thing I can reiterate is just I'm just so sorry. My heart hurts for y'all the same way that ours are hurting right now. I know y'all loved Angel, I just can't fathom not being able to go bad with him anymore, missing his little noise. I'm sorry if I seem so numb. It's just...
We've gone through the heartbreak, y'all. We've done the crying. We've had... You said it happened Monday, but it actually happened Sunday.
Sunday, sorry. Today's Tuesday, so 2 days ago.
The days are like... We've had days to process.
I didn't want to make a video until the autopsy came back and we knew what it was, but I just read it like an hour or two ago. And I don't know, just going forward, I just don't know what to do. That's kind of the whole point of this video. I hate to be so negative because I'm usually the most optimistic person, like for those of y'all that know me, but it just feels helpless sometimes with goats and with sheep. They really are a difficult animal. We've talked to a lot of vets just over the past few months and few years and stuff like that, and everybody just talks about how goats, they just like to roll over and die just for no reason, and there's not a lot you can do about it. It's not just us. Everybody I know in my family that has farm animals like goats and sheep, and people that we see on the internet and stuff like that, everybody is just I mean, y'all know, y'all have been here with us, a lot of you along for the ride over the past several years. You know that all of us have just struggled with losing so many goats and a little bit of other animals too, but predominantly goats are the hardest one, goats and sheep. Texas, where we live, is like the perfect breeding ground for parasites because they like a warm, humid climate. When it rains and then it gets like a hot temperature, that's like the perfect conditions for humidity. Just a lot of things that are out of our control. And so, you know, the grass might look so green right now, so beautiful as they're grazing and they're eating, but there's little microscopic silent killers under there that we can't see, but they're simply just there. And so we're not going to give up, obviously. I don't mean to sound that negative. We're going to keep dragging our pastures to try to get the poop ruffled up. Going to make sure to try to treat it, do our pasture rotations. We'll keep doing all those things, and we're going to keep trying even harder now. But we just know at this point that no matter how much sleep we lose, no matter how much efforts we give for everything, that they're still going to be there. Even if we get them all removed, they're going to come back. And so again, I hate to sound so negative, but I just feel like it's best to be realistic. I love our goats, but I just don't know how much more of the heartbreak we can keep doing with them. It's one thing if it, you know, something we can do better, something we can be more preventative about, but if they're so fickle, all of our vets that know about farm animals don't keep goats for themselves because they know that they're just so hard to keep healthy. And when they do get unhealthy, they don't always show you. It's one thing if an animal's or a human's prone to get sick, but at least you can have symptoms and go to the doctor and kind of treat it. But goats, they can, even our alpaca Oki that we lost, they can show you something, their first symptom, and then be dead within, I would say, even single-digit hours, maybe like 12, 14, 16 hours. There's just no warning, just no grace period. Vets aren't always open, and we're not out here every single second of the day with them, or else we would never sleep. And so it's just not possible to make sure that there's nothing going on every second of the day. I apologize for the geese. Our geese are kind of walking by. They're kind of loud. I'm going to walk this way. I'm sorry if I feel numb. I said it already, but I just feel really defeated right now. We loved our little angel so much. Y'all know how much I loved him. He was 1.5 years old. I had so many good memories with him. He passed before his time. There was other stuff I wanted to say, but I can't even really collect my thoughts fully right now. I don't remember what else I had wanted to talk about. Just maybe, I know that you guys will offer your prayers and your sympathy and your support, and that means the world to us. Those are one of the things that helps us most during these hard times. I guess another thing that I would like too is to kind of know y'all's opinions, know like kind of just how you feel about the prospect of us maybe not getting as many goats and sheep and other fickle animals like that in the future. It's just
too heartbreaking.
It is just too heartbreaking to sum it up. Other farmers I know, and even growing up, now that I think about it, the reason they have so many goats and sheep is because they just drop dead for a myriad of reasons. And so you just, when you lose a few, you replace them. You just kind of have them in very plentiful supply, because you have to have them in plentiful supply because they're so fickle. People have like one dog or one cat sometimes and stuff like that, but you don't just get one goat. I don't know anybody that does that. I don't know. It's just really challenging. It's just frustrating. It was barber pole worms, for any of you that are wondering. That's what Okie Dokie passed from too. And so we thought we'd done everything we could to make sure that they're not susceptible to these worms, but they almost just feel inevitable at this point. They almost just always feel there. You read on Google all kinds of things you can do. Like you can have chickens and cows and pigs. Those are 3 really good animals that will eat goat feces, and they'll eat off the ground, and then the barber pole worms will die inside of them because they can't live inside of a pig, a chicken, or a cow for whatever reason. I've already talked about how I've tried to move chickens out here to kind of help break down the poop, and so not give them a hospitable environment. But there's only so much they can help out with when there's a big old pasture and when it's raining and when it's humid. We can, like I said, we're gonna treat our pastures, keep doing our pasture rotation, gonna drag the pastures and stuff like that.
All stuff we've already been doing.
All stuff we've already been doing, and so we can try to do it more, but we may just have to accept the fact that we live on a floodplain, and no matter what we do, this is always a risk. And it's not really feasible to move right now.
It takes a lot to move.
It does take a lot to move. It takes a lot emotionally. We've already moved once 2 years ago. We moved twice technically. Takes a lot of money. I don't know that we have that much money to move somewhere viable for all the animals that we have. It's a lot of emotional stress on us and on the animals. How about we have about 14 goats now, but how about all the animals that aren't suffering from living here, like Ziggy, Maisie, all of our pigs, our dogs that love it here, our new Peaches, our cats that have their routine, you don't want to make it about money, so I'm not going to put it that way, but just all the additions we've made to the property and stuff like that. Just it'd be worth it to ensure their safety. But at the same time, what if we move somewhere to a more wooded area and then lice becomes a really big problem? Is it okay if I mention about, I don't want to unveil too much of personal information, but I know Meg's family, they have a lot of goats, but they've been struggling with lice with a lot of them because they live near the woods, and so they've lost some due to lice infestation as well. And so it's hard because you can treat them, they do treat them, but they just kind of,
it's another parasite, and it's another never-ending battle.
Instead of this one contaminating you like from the inside, the lice are on the outside sucking your blood.
Something I didn't mention in my video, and I want to mention here too, that I thought about, it was something I was talking to my dad on FaceTime. I update my family what happens with our animals because they have some of the same animals as us, and so education is always good. I realized though, when my dad said it, it was like a light clicked. He said, man, people up north don't have these bugs. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. People up north don't have these bugs because their weather is not hospitable to them. They do have other problems, you trade one for another. Pneumonia.
I'm sure up north the animals get hypothermia and pneumonia, and so I used to kind of want to believe that that there was an end-all be-all solution and that we just need to crack the code finally. And that's one thing that you've been saying a lot.
Crack the code.
And so once we felt like we had finally cracked the code with getting rid of these parasites, or at least making them not at risk of them,
Angel, manageable number.
Make it a manageable number. Angel, our beloved sheep,
passes out of the blue.
Just passes out of the blue with no signs or symptoms.
No warning, no. And for people who, and you can, we're traumatized. We had, I don't know if I talked about this, but we had, after we had an episode about 2 weeks ago with Gus where his, all the water stuff, I talk about it extensively on my channel. We talked to Dr. Cochran for 30 minutes, and she's like, y'all, I think y'all are traumatized. I think y'all are looking at it too much. I think y'all are, you're doing too much, but you're looking at them too much, that you're exasperating it, you know? And for her to say that, and like, yeah, it's true. We look at them so much, so nobody slips by. Nobody slips by. I would not be able to live with myself if somebody slipped by. If I truly thought that something was wrong and I missed it, I would tell you, but I do not think
no,
in my heart,
we didn't miss anything.
I didn't miss we didn't miss anything.
We didn't.
And people can choose to believe that if they want to or not.
No, it's the truth. There's nothing about it. Everybody knows. People know. Anybody can read online. Animals do pass of sudden death, especially goats and sheep. It's a unfortunately common thing for those kind of animals. And so, I don't know. Just there was something I was gonna say. I don't even remember what it was though. Just.
I upload my video.
Yeah, you can.
I don't mean it in like a monetization, like, oh, go watch my video, go see my channel kind of way. I talked for 40 minutes. I did a sit-down video like this. I talked for 40 minutes. I walked beginning to end. I talked about, you know, where the parasites come from, what happens, what you're supposed to do to prevent them, what is against us, what the vets have told us, what we're doing moving forward. Really, there's nothing to do moving forward. There's some things we can add, but there's nothing to do moving forward. We're already doing everything we can that is available to us. And so I talked for 40 minutes about that. It's much more of an educational point of view. He doesn't enjoy doing the educational as much as I do. Teacher at heart, love it. And I really emphasized, you know, I'm not gonna say it's not vulgar in any way, but it is not even graphic, but it is very like, it's more like a lesson, and I don't sugarcoat things. There's no sugarcoating anymore at this point, because I even talked about online responsibility. If you're gonna have animals and post them on the internet, I talked about a lot of things. And
her page is called Made by Megan, and so I'm always happy to like plug her page. I want you to follow my beautiful wife's page, but in this case, it's not about like trying to garner views or anything like that. It's solely about educational, because Meg does kind of explain the science behind it a lot, and the things that we've heard from the vet I'll summarize in my videos. But I just feel like a lot of people watching just kind of want the or at least on my page, want the gist, the Spark Notes version. But
if you want the nitty gritty, I will sit down and give you an hour's worth of a nitty gritty. I won't do it on a live because I have to collect my thoughts and squirrel brain, but I will give you the in-depth.
I remember what I was gonna say. I was just gonna say that, yeah, it makes you like want to reduce how many goats and how many animals you have and stuff like that, but at the same time, we still have 14 goats, presumably healthy, that just love us with all of our hearts and that need us to be here for them. And so we need to keep moving forward, and we can't give up on them, and we won't give up on them, and we hope that y'all won't give up on them. I guess I just have to be realistic with myself and understand that they're really fickle. These extremely fragile, and there is no grace. It's not feasible to have sometimes 12, 16 hours warning before death's door arrives. It's not right. It's just not possible.
And then even if you do get the warning, at that point it's pretty much too late.
Yeah, with Okie Dokie, Meg, like there was a tiny little window. He showed no symptoms before, and when he first did, I caught it immediately. Meg saw it instantly. I didn't even see it, and then we got him to the A&M vet within hours, and they're like, well, his blood levels are at like 5%, should be at 25. Been that way for you don't know how long. Could have been weeks or could have been months, but there's no way you know until now. And so it just kind of, it sucks.
And you have to learn by experience as well. That's something you have to learn by experience, which sucks.
On Angel's autopsy report, they even said at the bottom, because they were explaining the barber pole worms, and they're saying that unfortunately these parasites are resistant to many different kinds of medication. They're becoming stronger, and so I
explained the science behind that as well.
It's an extremely common diagnosis that's happening out there, and so I'm sorry to be have a little pity party here. I don't mean that. Maybe I do. I don't know, but I just wanted to update y'all on what happened. Y'all deserve to know the truth. Just know that we're mourning right now. We miss our sweet guy. We love him with all of our hearts. We love you guys with all of our hearts too. We appreciate y'all watching, loving, supporting, and praying for us. We'll catch you on the next video. As I always say, your boy Leo.